Yo, 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 Gabz TV.
Oh, why you do your voice like that? Like, what are you trying to like?
That's my voice. I know you're talking about. That's my voice. But yeah, we're back with another video.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll it on, mate. The weather's actually good today, you know.
Weather's nice. Weather's nice.
Private line too. All right, cool. Start the video again now.
I'm feeling the weather. The weather the other day was good as well on the weekend.
Right, it started doing hailstones and a mad thing.
One of the days it was cool. I was in shorts that day. What day was that?
Monday caught me slipping, boy.
Oh yeah.
I was in shorts going gym. Yeah, sad.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
All right, start the video now.
I want to tell you a disturbing pattern that I've noticed in my practice, which is this. White kid comes in with ADHD. We spend the time working on, sticker charts, maybe behavioral reinforcement systems, some parent training. Then an hour later, black kid comes in here, and instead of working on the actual skill development and parent training techniques, we're spending our time talking about when the principal was called in and why the police were called to school and how to avoid the next suspension.
All right, before we start this video, yeah, I'm going to ask you a question. Before you say your opinion on it, if this is not true, do you believe content like that is divisive?
The key thing of what you said is my practice, which is his section. People are always gonna feel a certain kind of way because people don't actually listen to what people say. They listen to what they want to hear. So I can say one thing right now, you can say one thing right now. How you interpret what I've said or what you've said is how you're gonna interpret it. And what you take from that is what you're gonna take from that and run with it. Until we actually get into the conversation and I ask you, did I actually say that? You'd be like, oh, yeah, but what you said, no, I didn't say that. You're assuming I've said that based on you running with another narrative here. So I don't think anyone should stop, talking about things like that. And I think however you want to look at it, it's going to impact people in different ways. Because people don't actually listen to what has been said. They listen to what they think has been said. Do you know what I'm saying? So as far as what he's talking about, I think that's a common thing. But sometimes you miss a couple of factors here. I would say white British people often make more excuses for children's behavior than black British people. And I think why you get more support for white British kids as opposed to black British kids, black African Caribbean, is because their parents will happily say, what should we do? Black British, black Caribbean parents, my son doesn't have that. And then sometimes what you find is that if you're not careful, they would say you're trying to push these things on my child. Do you know what I'm saying? And then what then is the school trying to support you turns into a battle. Whereas if you take a white British person, usually they kind of be like, all right, well, he's got ADHD. All right, well, what should we do? What can we do to, So that's not the complete reason. Of course, there's other factors. But a large part of, from my personal experiences, is that black people ain't trying to hear that shit. My son's got ODD, good what? And again, from my experiences, when black people hear that shit, they be like, clip the boy in the back of his head and tell him to go to class. He doesn't do this when he's at home. I'll be like, boy, there's a big difference between the kid you see at home and the kid you have at school. But generally speaking, black people don't like to kind of see that side of things. Do you get what I'm saying? White family now, I tell you straight, yeah, educating is not for him. He's going to be a builder. Doesn't need to do all of this. Get him an apprenticeship. Tell that to majority of black parents. I'm telling you now, the white system is trying to oppress us.
That's the excuse though, come with.
What? All of you are racist. You're trying to ruin my children. You're trying to ruin my child. Can you see the difference here?
Why is there such a bad stigma to that approach when it comes to like children's diagnosis? Because I know you heard the typical, well, it's European standards and all of this stuff, but why do you think there's such a negative outlook on us people, us as a culture, us as a people, getting help from these institutions for our
Because
children?
we hold ourselves in high regard, man. We're coming from a generation of black people who went through unthinkable forms of racial abuse, sexual abuse, slavery. You know, we are very proud people. They didn't make excuses then, in spite of all the pain and suffering. So that mentality carries through. We're not one to really respond well to being told our children have got ADHD. As far as we're concerned, that just says there's a problem with my child. No, there's a problem with you actually. We become quite defensive, you know, because we're not seeing it from a school perspective, but we're not seeing it from an educational perspective where somebody's not diagnosing, somebody is identifying traits of this form of issue, which can then help your child academically progress. And what you also find is the person that's giving you that information, sometimes you don't like the look of the person that's giving that information. Sir, if it comes from a certain type of, let's say, black professional, it's almost like they know how to say it in a way that does not make you feel like there's a problem. Makes you more feel like we're gonna here to help. But when it comes from a certain type of white professional, fuck you. Do you know what I'm saying? So again, but you have to remember, that's not personal. But I can accept that why white people might take it personally, but you have to look at it from a black perspective. We are very proud people, man. We don't believe in excuses too tough. And when we see other blacks making excuses or see our children going off wayward in the street, you know, all the aunties, the uncles, Caribbean, African, Asians, a lot. We're on some, hell are you doing? Whereas, like, when you see white kids doing it, oh, they're just pissing around. But the truth of the matter is, it's not really white kids. It's just the British way of life. We all piss around. But because you're so black, you don't identify with Britain or any kind of, you're not social, we might live here, but we ain't from here. You're going to look at it as like us against them. But the truth is, did you not get up to shit when you was younger? Did you not play knockdown ginger when you was younger? Did you not, yeah, with the yeah? The difference is that maybe when we said it to so-and-so's dad or mum, it was a bit like, oh, what are you lot doing? Whereas if we said to our mum, he's going to Nigeria. Do you get what I'm saying? But that's not a white or black thing. That's just because that's how we're socially developed. We just get up to no good. You know what I mean? So I think when you hear it from parent to parent, when you're hearing it from different races, it just becomes an issue. When you're hearing it from certain professionals, it becomes an issue. And it also becomes even more of an issue when you think that particular teacher is on your child. As in always telling your child off. To the point where you just sit there and you think, it's got to be you. Why only my child in the whole class? That's when you start getting defensive.
All right, cool. So, with that being said, like, what was your personal experience with, like, when you were in school? Like, obviously, diagnosis is more of a more recent thing, but did you have any experience of kids that had these diagnoses, ADHD and?
Me, I was assessed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What did they diagnose you with?
ADHD, ODD, I think a form of OCD. There were so many DDDs.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I'm joking. Before they now cancel
my one was crazy. Mine was bad. Primary school was the worst. It was the worst. My mum was getting called in all the time.
For your diagnosis?
I don't know if they actually diagnosed me, but I was assessed a number of different times for aggressive kind of whatever behavior. Like I couldn't function emotionally at all. But again, I'm gonna sit here and say it wasn't that I couldn't function. I just didn't know what emotions were.
So,
I'm socially developed different. I'm not gonna lie.
so like for you, did you know? Like looking back, did you think, I definitely had I was diagnosed. I definitely have one of these things that they talk about.
I can say that I have, like, I think everybody has it. It's not something that I have. I think everybody has it. It's just, it comes out more in other people. But the truth is, yeah, I wasn't trained for school. I wasn't. My training was in the form of Celestial Church of Christ.
What goes on in Celestial Church of Christ?
You pray, and if you ain't praying, you're getting slapped. Then you make sure you pray, and when you get a chance, you roll your socks, play football in the church. And it was unruly. There was no, and everyone's shouting. Conversations is shouting. Everything is aggression. It wasn't, you was fed well. You had a great time. Everyone's your cousin too. But you didn't really get to, oh, how do you feel? No, huh? Kill it. Wham. You didn't think about it. Your ears ringing. You're seeing purple in the left hand side. Your hair, you didn't even think about it. So naturally, when I get to primary school, what do you think is gonna happen with me? What did you say again? Now, for someone that just reacts like that to a school full of majority of white professionals, them times there, the majority of teachers was white. What are you thinking? But take yourself away from the school and come and join me in my universe, and you will see it's very much normal. And I couldn't understand what I'm doing wrong. I'm disciplining that kid. No, you need to talk to them. Talk what? I can't even talk to you. You're my elder. I'm socially developed different. We didn't say, oh, you did this to me. To an adult. In what world? Anything you said is the truth. And that's how it was. If my mum comes to school, teacher says he done this, in that meeting, it's long. Your legs is shaking. You know what's gonna happen when you get home. I don't think they knew all the time what was gonna happen when I got home, but I knew. So, trying to understand, oh no, let's talk about it. Talk about what? That wasn't in my vocabulary. Let's have a conversation. Some of them, a lot of the kids, absolutely. For me, how? The best thing for you to do, if discipline with me, was give me a smack. And if you wasn't giving me a smack, what was you doing? You was making me write lines. At least then, that one made more sense. My hand is hurting me. But when you get to the point when you start telling me, oh, well, you're going to sit in the naughty corner, so you ain't going to smack me. You're going to send me to the naughty corner. So I did this wrong, and I'm going to the naughty corner. I don't want to be black no more. I don't want to be African no more. I want to be white. Because if that's the punishment, come by me. Put me in the naughty corner. You know what I'm saying? I used to tell white boy all the time. It's like, bro, I know your mum's scary and that, but listen to this here. You don't know but you don't know what I go through at home. When I get in trouble with you, the punishment I'm getting, you can't comprehend, bro. Like, you just won't understand. You know?
They'll be like, why did she do that to you? What, should I call the police?
I'm telling you. Like, come. And that's even the worst case. You go call the police now. It's 10 times worse now. Like, cuz. So when I'm talking about like school and yeah, I had all those things, but when you reflect back properly and you look at it from a sociological perspective, and you begin to understand culture, ethnicity, you begin to understand the importance of morals and principles that come with those things, with those factors that in actual fact form who you are as a person. You begin to understand that whatever I thought was normal was never going to be normal to you. No one taught me how to sit for an hour, then sit for another hour to just do work. You think I was doing maths, English, and science with my mum? My mum was doing 4 jobs. My dad was. So who's gonna teach me how to do the homework? Tell me. Then I get to school. You ask me to do the homework. How can I do the homework? I don't even know what's going on in the classroom. If you ask me to repeat Psalm 51, I can repeat that one all day long. I hear it every week, every Friday, every Sunday, and sometimes on a Wednesday. Ask me to do what the stuff that what the hell are you talking about? And when I got home, I'm going out to go and play with white boy. What do you want me to go do? Nobody taught me the importance of doing homework and sitting down and relaxing. No, who taught me that? Then you do 2 hours, then have a break lunchtime. Lunchtime, I'm taking out jollof rice. People are having sandwich. I said, my life wasn't the same as everyone else's. I couldn't understand things the way you understood things. And I was very impressionable, like most young kids. So if I look at my childhood, the things that I needed to help me through my childhood was things like wrestling. And people like Bill Goldberg. So anytime I get angry now, I'll be smacking my face too. Punch me, hit me. And you know what's so funny? I've been getting smacked and battered so much that by the time one of you lot hit me, it's funny. Cause you don't know them how heavy them uncle's hands are. You not gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's not to say I had an abusive childhood. If you call a spade, you could say it's abusive. But for me personally, it was cultural. And it was a blessing. I loved all of it. So, and I genuinely mean that. So, you know what I'm saying?
Man, put the T's and C's there.
Yeah, I have to.
Disclaimer.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you ask me for my life personally, I don't. If you said generally speaking, I don't know how other kids respond to certain things. For them, it might be quite traumatic, and in which case, you know. But for me, it was a blessing, and I needed all of it. So how do you expect me to function like any other kid? And there was only 1 or 2 kids that could kind of understand that. Yeah. And that's why I said to you before, when I'm in the classroom now, boy, you have to put me next to someone that makes sense. Beverly. And I'm copying her work. Because I'm trying to get a break to play football. Because the truth of the matter is, I didn't understand a word of what you was talking about in that classroom. I didn't understand it. Most kids get £1.50 to go to school. I got 35p. And that was them times the Snicker bar was 15p. Maryland cookies was 25p. Calypso was 15p.
All that sugar, mate. Fucking shit. In the words of Adhd. No, but you know what it is, yeah, when you think about even like what you would have been eating at that point.
Yeah.
That didn't even help. That's a lot of sugar. A lot of sugar before school.
But imagine if I didn't. I'd be falling asleep all the time. Then I'd have a sleeping disorder. Because to stay awake with things that I'm not interested in, even now, as my grown age now, I'm telling you now, I struggle. If I'm proper not interested in what you're saying, I can pretend like I'm listening. But at some point, I'm staring at the stars. Because I'm just like, I don't care what you're talking about. But I'm going to try my best to make myself believe I care. Do you know what I'm saying? So imagine when I'm a kid, you're doing all that stuff then. All I want to do is go and play with G-Dot. I don't know what you're talking about here. I don't even understand the purpose of school. Nobody explained school to me. And even if you did, was I mature enough to even understand this? No. The relevance of it? No.
Well, you heard it here exclusively. The reason why we haven't filmed any episodes is because this boy is not interested. And when I'm telling him to come and shoot, he's not shooting.
Well, also, say wallahi.
Wallahi.
Oh my God. Did you actually?
Wallahi.
Oh my astaghfirullah. You're going to help that.
I'm telling you. But yeah, no, that's interesting though. I can't even lie to you. Like, because I didn't even know that you had that. But it makes sense now. Because I've known you for a long time. You're definitely tapped.
You're a twat. Do you think I'm tapped?
Yeah.
Honestly, do you think I'm tapped?
Put that in the comments if you think. Just write tapped. But yeah. So I think on that one, we'll leave it. Because we've been talking for a minute on that one. And yeah, there's some big stuff coming out. Gabz is involved. I don't want to mention it on here, but
What big stuff, Loso?
I can't mention it, innit?
What, man? I can mention that.
Innit? I'll mute it out.
Well, what else? Like, what other big stuff are we going to be doing, Los?
That's the big stuff.
And when are we going to be doing it, Los?
So hopefully he's
Let's
not
not include stuff with what we're doing here. Separate, like you said.
No,
Remember, you've set me off that
joint.
so I'm like a hoe now. You have me, you do what you want to do with me, then you send me out.
Get it sexy. Get it sexy.
Boy.
Get it sexy. Come on, let's up.
Hey. Pause and why for that?
Why for that?